a lot of theological discussion. All the old theologians like to talk about this, about what part of the Passover celebration is being recognized when Jesus is giving out the Lord's Supper. And I think that for a handful of reasons, this is a bit of a wrong question. So for example, even though it says in Matthew and in Mark, it says while they were eating, Jesus took the bread. It's in when he takes up the cup, he wants to make a clean break from the celebration of the Passover and the celebration of the Lord's Supper.
Okay, let's pause. He wants to make a clear break. Actually, he does say something here that we need to also hear. So let's keep going. But keep this in mind. He's saying that there's a clean break in between the Passover meal and the Lord's Supper. That's very important for this conversation.
So it'll say, for example, in Luke 22, verse 20, it says, after they had supped, Jesus took the cup. So that there's a distinction between the eating of the Passover and the Lord's Supper in the New Testament. In fact, just the language that Jesus uses when he gives them the cup, he says, this is the cup of the New Testament. The Old Testament was really it was bound up in the celebration of the Passover.
Okay, hang on. We got to pause. I'm sorry. We got to pause. Now, he's going to say if he wanted to be talking about the Passover, he would have taken the Passover lamb and said, this is my body. This is, I don't know. I genuinely don't think that this gentleman is trying to be deceptive. I genuinely don't think that. But this is deceptive. Why? Because there's two cups in Luke. And there were multiple cups in Greco-Roman culture. And he's totally dismissing, he's not even talking about the fact that there is a cup before the meal. Let's read it. Let's start in Luke 22:14. He says, and when the hour had come, he reclined at table and the apostles with him. They're probably in a triclinia, a U-shaped room, couches probably built into the actual room itself. He's probably rented this room. And the food has now probably been brought into the middle and will be placed before them by the servants. And this is the setup, right? So they recline. This is not because of some Passover tradition where they're reclining on one arm. This is how Greco-Roman meals were eaten. Verse 15, and he said to them, I have earnestly desired to eat this Pascha with you before I suffer. For I tell you, I will not eat it until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of God. And he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he said, take this and divide it among yourselves. Okay, let's pause real quick. So this is before the meal proper. This is before the meal proper. And what's happening is what happens at every Greco-Roman banquet. What happens is that they take a cup and take Judaism completely out of this for now. I'm talking about symposiums, Greek pagan symposiums. The Greek symposium is the dominant culture, and the Jewish rabbis discuss at length how much of the pagan symposium can be adopted into their practice without becoming pagan, without them becoming pagan. And what they determine is that we're talking about Jewish rabbis here, by the way, okay? What they determine is as long as it's not a specific pagan custom, that it can be adopted. And what I mean by this is there's nothing wrong with dedicating a cup of wine or a ceremonial cup to God. In fact, we see this throughout the Tanakh. So it can't be pagan in and of itself. And therefore, the pagans can't just come and say, hey, we're going to bless a cup to the god Zeus before a meal, and now this is our custom. And if the Jews do it, now they're celebrating a pagan custom. No, we see the dedication of libations to God, not only in the temple, but also before meals in the Tanakh. Okay, so this can't be pagan. And so then the Jews say, well, what about the rest of the cups? What about other cups throughout the meal? No, we see once again that libations can be had and can be dedicated to God. And therefore, just dedicating a cup to God is not a pagan act. Okay. What about blessing the food? Well, we know that the pagans blessed their gods for the food before their meals. Is that a pagan act? No. Clearly not, because Yeshua does it, right? Continue listening to this conversation by clicking the full show link on the left side of your screen, or check out the video on the right that YouTube thinks you'll like. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you never miss content from Messiah Matters.